In 1845, the Wilts, Somerset and Weymouth Railway gained permission from Parliament to build 2 lines from Chippenham, one down to Weymouth and the other to Salisbury. Construction of the line was taken over by the Great Western Railway in 1850 after the project ran into financial difficulty, with the line being completed in 1854. One of the many stations on the line is Yeovil Pen Mill. Opened in 1854, it would have to be rebuilt in the 1880s after a fire destroyed most of the station buildings in 1859, and then rebuilt again in 1874 when the Great Western converted from Brunel's broad gauge to standard gauge. The line and the station were still being run by the Great Western Railway running into 1913. On the 8th of August 1913, 2 passenger trains were heading towards Yeovil. The first of these was the 2:45 excursion from Paddington to Weymouth. This train consisted of 12 carriages and a milk van being pulled by an unidentified 044 tender engine. The second train was the 1:20 p.m. regular passenger train from Paddington to Weymouth. This train consisted of 7 carriages being pulled by a 3700 City class number 3710 City of Bath, an 044 tender engine weighing over 92 tons. At 6:03 p.m, the excursion train reached Yeovil Pen Mill station half an hour late. At this point, the train had been reduced from 12 to 8 carriages when 4 were taken off at Frome, with a third-class carriage now taking up the rear. At 6:04 p.m, signalman Prosser in the north signal box was offered and accepted the train headed by the City of Bath, with it also running late. He decided to bring this train to a stand at the outer home signal, then bring them slowly to the starter signal at walking pace, while the excursion train was shunted out of its way. As City of Bath approached, its driver, Thomas Dowler, saw that the distant signal was at danger, so he shut off steam and applied the brakes, slowly bringing his train to a crawl in order to bring it to a stand at the next signal. When the train was reaching the next signal, the outer home signal, the train was reduced to no more than 8 miles an hour. According to the driver Dowler, when the train was about 300 yards from the signal, it lowered from danger to all clear and the train ran past. The next signal, the inner home signal, was also set to danger but also lowered to clear as the train approached, passing it at about 6 miles an hour. Then the train came to the starting signal, located outside North Signal Box. It also was set to danger. As they approached, driver Dowler looked up at the box to see signalman Prosser motioning at him. Prosser had seen the train approach and saw that it was about to pass the signal at danger, and started gesturing at him to stop. Driver Dowler was transfixed on the signalman and was confused by his gestures, so much so that he took his train past the signal box and signaled. A few seconds later, Dowler saw the signal he had passed was at danger and immediately applied the brakes. At this point, his train was approximately 40 feet from the rear of the excursion train, colliding into the back of it at 6:12 p.m. at a speed of around 4 miles an hour. Whilst this was a low-speed collision, bear in mind that the train weighed more than 300 tons and was ramming a train of similar weight with its brakes on. The rear third-class carriage of the excursion train took the brunt of the impact, with its steel underframe giving way and City of Bath telescoping into its body, crushing 3 of the 9 compartments. There were more than 20 passengers in the carriage. 2 were killed and 10 were injured, with one of these, an 18-year-old, dying a week later from her injuries. A report into the accident by Lieutenant Colonel von Dolop was released on the 27th of August 1913, 19 days after the crash. He found a number of failings in both men and infrastructure, the main one being from driver Dowler, who had failed to keep an adequate lookout despite the clear warning signs, and allowed his train to pass the signal at danger. He also called into question the actions of signalman Prosser. Company instructions at the time required that in this situation, The train should be brought to a stand at each signal, but this was not followed on this occasion, and the knot was left with the impression that it was generally not adhered to. Lastly, he drew attention to the station, to both its short platform and lack of visibility due to the curvature of the line, recommending that the station should be remodelled to remedy these shortcomings. The City of Bath was repaired and put back into service, running until September of 1928, when she was withdrawn and scrapped.